and welcome to Ron's Amazing Stories. This is the month of Spooky 2016. It is the 6th time that we've dedicated the month of October to all things spooky, and I think you'll agree that we all need to have our worlds turned upside down once in a while. On this episode, we have a murder where the assassin wants us to believe that it's suicide. Then we follow the exploits of the good ghost. Following that, a ghoulish hound visits a man in his hallucinations. We end with a ghost boy who only wants to play with his Crown Victoria Fire Marshal's car. So, let's get on with the spookiness and listen to this 5-minute mystery.
Another 5-minute mystery.
This 5-minute mystery is brought to you by the producers of the month of Spooky. If you need to be scared, want to be, no, that's not it. If you have to be scared, then you need the month of Spooky. You never know what thrills you until you've been chilled by the MOS.
Lonely black night, ain't it, Foley?
Yeah. A lot better riding around this squad car than pounding the beat.
Yeah, I guess it is. I remember when you and I first joined the force back in...
Hey, Sullivan.
What?
Look there ahead. Somebody's running toward our car waving like mad.
Slow down, Foley. Let's see what he's in such a hurry about.
Officer! I'm so glad you happened along. Right down there. Just one more block. My fiancée. She just committed suicide.
All right, now, how'd this all happen?
Well, I'm Leon Jones, and this is... my fiancée, Sally Lawrence. I just bought the ring today.
Bought the ring today, huh?
That's right. Here it is. Even in the original box.
Okay, go on.
Well, tonight we took a walk after I'd given her the ring. We stopped here about the middle of the bridge and stood looking down into the water.
Then what?
Well, all of a sudden, Sally said she wasn't going to marry me, that she was just tired of living. She took off the ring I'd just given her and handed it back to me. I asked her what was the matter, what had happened.
Had she ever seen down at the mouth before this?
Once in a while, nothing serious.
By the way, Mr. Jones, when did you put that ring back in the case?
Why, I don't know. I'm afraid I have sort of an orderly type of mind. Why?
Nothing at all. When you asked her what had happened, did she tell you?
No, she didn't. She just turned around and started fumbling in her purse. I thought she was getting her handkerchief, but then I saw the glint of light on a small bottle as she lifted it to her lips. And she collapsed, just as though she'd been hit by lightning. It was all done so fast. I called to her, kept speaking her name, but it was too late.
Let's step over and examine the body a little closer.
Sullivan, it's an open and shut case of suicide by poison.
Well, maybe. Yes, there's the bottle, all right, just where it fell. Empty, too. Now, pull out the cork. See what this smells like. Take a whiff, Foley. Stuff knocks you out the minute it hits your tongue.
Hey, Jones said she fell over just like she'd been hit by lightning.
Wait a minute, Foley. That's it. This isn't suicide, this is murder. Murder by Mr. Leon Jones.
So Leon Jones is a murderer. Do you know the clue that points him out? We'll hear in a moment, but first...
I have to say I really don't see any flaws in this one. I think it has something to do with the ring, but I just don't know. What I do know is that if you listen to the month of Spooky, you will have chills, and it comes with a dose of thrills. Let's see what I missed.
And now, let's hear the solution from Police Lieutenant Sullivan.
Miss Lawrence apparently refused to marry you tonight, Mr. Jones. Refused to even take the ring, is my guess, and you decided to murder her. You stated that Miss Lawrence collapsed immediately after she drank the contents of the bottle. After finding what the bottle contained, we know this is true. But tell me, Mr. Jones, if your fiancée dropped dead immediately after she drank from the bottle, then why is it I had to remove the cork before I could smell what was in the bottle? No one drinking the contents of this bottle could possibly have had time to cork it before death struck. A neat little trick, Mr. Jones, but your mind was just a little too methodical to be really clever. Come along, we've got a little trek down to headquarters.
She didn't drink the poison? The problem I have then is, how did she die? This 5-minute mystery was brought to you by the producers of the month of Spooky. If you have to be scared, then you need the month of Spooky. You never know what thrills you until you've been chilled by the MOS. Want to hear a great ghost story? Well, it's my hope that's what I have for you today. I believe that not all ghost stories have to have that full-on creepy, make you reach for the light switch and check to see if you're alone moment. A good one can lasso you in it and put the full creepy on at the end, letting you know who's boss. Quiet Please was the master of this and did it with almost every episode they made. I urge you to hold on to your seats and wait for it. It's called The Good Ghost and first aired on Halloween of 1948.
The American Broadcasting Company presents Quiet Please, which is written and directed by Willis Cooper and which features Ernest Chappell. Quiet Please for today is called Good Ghost. I never did anything wrong in my life. That's why I was so upset when Schuster murdered me. I'm just standing there minding my own business, and Schuster, he pulls out this cannon, and he points it at me, and it goes boom, and I say ouch, and I'm lying there. And he walks away down Lake Street towards Michigan Avenue. Yeah, right there on the corner of Lake and Wabash at 1:15 in the morning. Ouch, I said, and I just laid there. After a while, I got up, and I walked away. I was all mixed up. I guess I didn't realize I was dead because I walked over to Randolph Street. I started up the elevated steps, but something stopped me, something like a rope or something across the bottom of the stair steps, and I couldn't get up. So I looked around to see what it was, and there was nothing. There was a voice speaking kind of in my ear. Can't go up there, Gus. That's what the voice said. And there wasn't anybody there. I looked. Well, all right, I said to myself, there's more than one way to skin a cat, so I walked over to State Street and I started down the subways there. You know what? I couldn't go down there either. There was this same voice whispering in my ear. You can't go down there, Gus. Well, I said, where am I going to go? But I didn't hear any answer to that. So I put one foot in front of the other, and you know what I did? I walked. And for the first time in my life, for the first time, my feet didn't hurt. So that's one consolation I said, being a ghost, your feet won't hurt. Well, I was bewildered, see. I walk, and I walk, and I walk, and pretty soon, it's about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm out in Logan Square. And I said to myself, why, Schuster lives around here someplace, don't he? And I am in Schuster's house. See, I was a pretty new, inexperienced ghost then. Gosh, if I'd have known, I wouldn't have had to walk all the way out to Logan Square. I could have flew or whatever it is I do. But I've learned now. I'll tell you about it. Well, like I said, there I am in Schuster's house. Well, you didn't know Schuster, did you? He was laying there, sound asleep on the bed, and he was a pretty good-looking fella in a kind of fat way. He was laying there snoring. He had his hand hanging over the edge of the bed, and I never thought. I just went over and I took hold of his hand, and I said, hey, Schuster. Schuster. Hey, Schuster. Schuster, wake up.
Who's that?
Wake up, Schuster. It's me.
Who's that? Well, gee whiz, Schuster. Bad enough to murder a guy. You have to scare the life out of him? Somebody had hold of my hand.
It was me.
The cold hand.
It was me, I told you.
Who's that?
It's me, Schuster.
That's the hand.
It's God.
God! God! God!
You awake now?
You get away from me! You're dead!
Yeah, I know it. I didn't mean to wake you up so violent.
I'm asleep. I'm dreaming.
No, honest, Schuster. I'm sorry.
I'm hearing things. Oh, why did I knock him off?
Hey,
Huh?
why did you knock me off?
Is that really you guys?
Sure.
Did you come to haunt me?
No, not especially. I was just wondering, why did you shoot me?
I'm going to turn on the light. There ain't nobody here. I had a nightmare. There. You see, you chump? There ain't nobody here.
I'm
It
here.
was a nightmare. Gosh, I hear you.
Sure.
What do you want?
I told you. Why did you kill me?
Will you go away if I tell you?
Well,
It was on account of Ada.
Ada.
Yeah, Ada. Will you go away now and leave me?
Schuster.
Huh?
Schuster, is your intentions towards Ada honorable?
Oh, why, sure, Gus. Will you go away now?
Move over, Schuster. I want to do a little thinking. Well, Schuster, he put his head underneath the covers and he shriveled all up in a knot and I thought and thought. He kept shivering and thinking of dead, and so pretty soon I went to sleep. And when I awoke, Schuster was gone. So I got to thinking about Ada. Gee, when Ada was Schuster, I sure did like Ada. Ada always wore hair and a pompadour, and her hair was so black, and her eyebrows were so cute, and she always smelled so nice. Gee, Ada. I always thought Ada liked me pretty much, too. Whenever I had a couple of bucks, I used to take Ada out to the Trianon and dance. She was about 3-4 inches taller than me, but we danced all right together. That's where Schuster run into us at the Trianon. Gee whiz, I never thought Ada'd fall for Schuster. Funny, ain't it? You're always the last one to find out. I thought she liked me. I never even had a chance to be jealous of Schuster. I sure did like Ada. I was thinking about the time Schuster drove us out to the forest preserve, Ada and me. And the three of us had a picnic, Weenies, and she made potato salad, and we had a swell time. And then I remember, I didn't notice it then, she kept sitting next to Schuster all the time. Well, I thought, laying there on Schuster's bed, I'm too late. And if Ada likes Schuster, well, all I can do is try to help him out. Schuster, well, I could do without him, but Ada, I want her to be happy. And thinking about it, all of a sudden, I'm in Ada's apartment, and Schuster's there with her, and Ada's crying a little bit.
It sure is too bad, Ada. He was a nice little feller.
I can't hardly believe he's dead, Schuster.
Well, he is.
I'll say I am.
What did you say?
I didn't say nothing.
I thought you did. Oh, poor little fella. He goes so sudden.
Yeah, too bad.
Gee whiz, Schuster, you done it.
I was so fond of him.
I know you was, Ada.
And now I'm all alone in the world.
Oh, no, you ain't, Ada. I'm here.
Sure, Ada, he's here.
Oh, Schuster. I'm so lonesome.
Put your head on my shoulder, Ada, honey, and leave us weep together.
Oh, Schuster.
And so she put her head on the Schuster's shoulder, but she didn't weep. He kissed her. And so I come away. After all, how much can you take, huh? Well, so it looks like it's on the up and up, and besides, what could I do? I am dead. So I sat down on a bench in Lincoln Park, and I think, funny, them concrete benches used to feel cold when I sat on them, but now they don't feel cold anymore. I guess because I'm a ghost. Well, I figure I have to talk to Schuster again. What? Well, I figure I have to help him out. Help Ada out, I mean. I don't want Ada to go around being unhappy, and so if her and Schuster is going to get married, well, then least I can do is give him a hand. I know Schuster ain't got a quarter, and there's ways a guy in my position can help, see? Oh, I don't know how I knowed it, but it's true. A ghost can do pretty nearly anything if he works it right. So I wait till night and I start to walk out to Logan Square. And then I remember I don't have to walk. And zing, I am in Schuster's room. Schuster is sitting there thinking, and I say, Schuster. Hey, Schuster. He don't give me a tumble, but I can see his eyes moving, looking around the room. Hey, Schuster, I say again. I want to talk to you. And you know what he done? He jumped out the window. Well, I'm so surprised I can't even follow him out the window. You know what? That Schuster, he was the hardest guy to haunt I ever seen. And look, I didn't want to do nothing. All I wanted to do was help Ada. Sure, what if he does shoot me? That's over. I gotta help Ada. Heck, I loved Ada, see? A couple of nights later, I seen him get in his car. I got in alongside him, and I figured, this is fine. We're all alone in the car. And then I begin to worry. If I say something while we're driving, he'll probably wreck the car. So I wait till we're stopped by the light of Diversity in Lincoln Park. We're standing still. What can happen? So I put my hand on top of his on the gear shift, and I say, hey, Schuster. Bam, crash, jingle, bounce. He takes his foot off in the clutch, and we're through a high iron fence, and the car is upside down, and Schuster has got a sprained ankle. Gee whiz, I said, I'm a heck of a ghost. But he's laying there, and I think this is a good time to talk to him before the ambulance comes. He can't move. But he crosses me up. He faints. And while she's laid up with his ankle all bandaged up, Ada comes and sees him, and the way she puts her arms around him and kisses him, I says, this is no place for me. So I come away again. I couldn't take it. But that only made it worse. I should talk to him and see what I can do for Ada and him. So after a while he's well, and I see him and Ada every once in a while, and he treated her like, gee whiz, the way I wished I could have treated her. And she had it up. Well, one night Schuster goes into a movie. I saw the movie before. You got a lot of time on your hands when you're a ghost. Usually you can get in movies free. I followed him inside, and while he was running the sign on the screen, it said, next week, Hollow Triumph. I lean over close to him and I say, Schuster. Gee whiz, he went up like a balloon. People was hollering, and he was hollering, and the ushers come, and the cops, and they drug him away. You know what the upshot of that was? He kept hollering to the cops that he was haunted. And they thought he was touched in the head, and they put him in a wagon and took him out to psychopathic for observation. Man, I sure made a mess out of things, didn't I? And all I'm trying to do is be a good guy, a good ghost, I mean. So, come evening out to psychopathic, I go. Boy, what a place. And I hunt high and low for Schuster till it's about 2 o'clock. Then I hear a kind of gargle I think is familiar, and I go through a little door, and, oh, boy, there he is, in a straitjacket. Well, for pity's sake, Schuster, I said. Look, Schuster, stop it. I ain't going to hurt you. Schuster, listen to me. Schuster, don't you bust something. Now, listen, Schuster. Listen to me. I ain't mad. Nah, Schuster, I ain't mad at all. I want... You want to kill me? What? To kill me? Kill you? Yeah, kill me. Nah, Schuster, all I want to do is help you. No, Schuster, somebody will hear you. Yeah. Look, I'm only allowed to kill one person, see, Schuster? No, you ain't allowed to kill the fella that killed you, see? I can only knock off one fella, and he has to be a bad fella. Well, I know you're kind of bad, but you can't be all bad, Schuster, else Ada wouldn't love you. Does Ada love you? Yeah. And do you love her? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Don't kill me.
What?
Please.
Listen, I said I wasn't going to kill you. I just want to help you.
Yeah?
A ghost can do lots of things, Schuster.
Yeah.
You need money, Schuster?
Yeah.
You broke?
Yeah.
Well, you can't marry Ada without money.
Yeah.
I'll get you the money.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Only will you promise to marry Ada as soon as you get the money?
Yeah.
Well, I said it was okay then, and I reached over and patted him on the forehead. And he heaved himself up, and the gag came out of his mouth.
Let me out of here! Ah!
So I have to start all over again. I stuff the thing back in his bush, and all he can say is "Urgle," and I lay it all out to him again. He was bound and determined I was going to knock him off. He must have had a guilty conscience or something. But it was daylight when I finally sold him a bill of goods. Look, I kept saying, it's Ada I'm thinking of. I want Ada to be happy. I have to help you if I'm going to help Ada, can't you see? And it was, like I said, broad daylight when I took the gag away from him again, and I was all ready to put it back, but...
Okay, guys, okay. I believe you.
You got to believe me.
But you got to remember, if you hurt me, you'll be hurting Ada, guys.
I know it, Schuster. Why else would I go to all this trouble? Heck, Schuster, I loved Ada. And he just looked at me funny, and I said, okay, I'll meet you at Rollo's next Wednesday night. And I come away. Rollo's. I don't suppose you ever been there, huh? Gambling joint. I used to go there once in a while when I was alive. Pick up a couple of dollars shooting craps or something. Schuster goes there a lot, too. I'm standing by the wheel when Schuster comes in. I'm just standing there, and of course, Schuster can't see me when he comes up. He stood there looking a minute, and Rollo gave him a hello.
Hello, Schuster. Hi, Rollo. Get your bets down, gent. Schuster, you gonna play?
17.
What'd you say? I said you're gonna play. Get your money down.
I said 17.
5 on 17.
All bets down. That's all, gent.
And I left it spin a minute, and I put my finger on the 17, and I stopped it.
17. Here you are, Schuster. Get your bets down, gent.
4.
$4.
$100.
$100.
Oh, pledging, huh, Schuster?
Spin the wheel.
All bets down. Round and round she goes, and where she stops, nobody knows.
The heck nobody knows. I know. She stops on 4.
4. Well, nice going, Schuster.
Yeah, it is nice, ain't it?
11, Schuster.
11. $500.
Take it easy, Schuster.
Spin the wheel. That was an awful short spin, Rollo.
Real basic about it. Stopped on 4, didn't it?
Hey, Schuster.
What?
Ain't you got enough?
Enough?
To marry Ada? You win 3 times.
Oh, come on, Gus. Let's not quit yet.
Okay. 13.
13. $1,000.
At 4:30 in the morning, Rollo declared that the bank was busted. Schuster took every dime in the joint. Well, Schuster was me to help. And he went out of that place with money sticking out of every pocket and his hat. Hey, Schuster, I said.
Wow, Gus, you're terrific. I'm set for life.
You ain't set for life, Schuster, I said. Not yet, you ain't.
What do you mean?
You forgot about Ada.
Ada? Oh, Ada.
Yeah, this dough is to get married on, Schuster, remember?
Yeah, well, what do you know? Pretty near forgot about Ada. Can you imagine that?
And so 2 days afterwards, Schuster and Ada drive over to Crown Point to a little justice of the peace, and they get married. Gee whiz, it was a happy day. Ada sure looked pretty with her pompadour and a new dress and Carson Piers and her eyes shining, and she was nervous and cute. And even Schuster looked pretty good in a double-breasted green suit. And I got sentimental, and I kind of bawled, standing there watching. Only, of course, nobody knowed I was there, and I thought, gee, that might have been me, maybe. Only it's too late.
I do.
And the least I can do is to see that she has everything she wants. I can do that. On account I'm a ghost. I can do practically anything. There's Ada looking all thinking about the bus. She's so happy, and Schuster holding his arms around her and grinning, and the old JP grinning too and looking at the $100 bill. And I couldn't help it. I stepped right up close. What's the matter, honey?
Oh, I felt something cold on my cheek all of a sudden.
And it was only me kissing the bride. I love you, Ada. Oh, sure, they was as happy as bumblebees. Heck no, I wouldn't never intrude into their privacy. I never went to their house. But I used to meet Schuster once in a while, and I'd say, Schuster, how they going?
Oh, fine, Gus, fine. Swell, Gus. It is very happy.
And I'd always feel glad and happy about it. And then one day I meet Schuster, and I ask him the same question. He kind of stutters and stammers for a minute.
Well, look, Gus, Ada wants some mink coat.
Why don't you get her one?
Well, I'm not holding, Gus. I made a couple of bad investments.
So Schuster and me, we busted the bank at Rollo's again. And Rollo, he wasn't very happy about it, but what could the man do? It was his business, wasn't it? And Ada was happy, I figured. Schuster hit me again when the Arlington race season started.
Say, Gus, can you do anything about horses?
Like what?
You know.
What's the matter? You broke again?
No, but I kind of like to get a new car for Ada.
A goat by the name of Lollipops. He come in at 134 to 1, and I nearly wore myself out flagging down the other horses. Schuster had $200 on Lollipopsy's nose. Gee whiz, I said Ada ought to get two cars. Both of them chromium plated. Schuster said to me, hey, Gus, see, I was always around someplace. There wasn't no place for me to go. I kept trying the subway and the elevator, but no soap. I was stuck. So I stayed within calling distance. Ada was awful nice. Gee whiz. Schuster said to me, say, Gus.
Say, Gus.
What?
You know the sweepstakes?
Yeah?
Well,
What?
I got a ticket.
Gee whiz, Schuster.
Well, Ada wants a house in Lake Forest. That costs bucks.
Oh, well. Well, Ireland is a nice place, but sorting through all of them ticket stubs to find BB 46, 37, 28, 29 was quite a job of work. What? $110,000? You can buy quite a joint in Lake Forest for that kind of moolah. Oh, boy, I thought Ada's doing all right. And I'm glad even if Schuster is getting to be kind of a pain in the neck.
Ever think about the stock market, Gus?
No.
Oh, that's where a guy could really clean up.
Or lose his shirt.
Not with my little mascot, my little palsy Welsy.
Who's that?
You. Me? Sure.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, my gosh, you can do anything.
Well,
Ada wants to go to Mexico for the summer.
well.
Oh, boy, $1 million. Gus, let's get another million.
Another million? What forfeit did he say?
Why, for Ada, Gus. Her birthday's tomorrow.
Well, you know what? I forgot that. I used to buy her a box of the Mets candy, or when I had the money for Annie Mae's. And now I forgot her birthday. Gee whiz. Well, first I went over to LaSalle Street, and I went up to the stock exchange, and I sent Consolidated something up 81 points. And then I said to myself, I just gotta see Ada on her birthday and see how happy she is. Gee, I mean, cold and her new automobile. I bet it's a Rolls Royce. The house in Lake Forest. No, she's in Mexico, I thought. But I'll say happy birthday in Mexican, even if she won't hear it. And so, she wasn't in Mexico. I looked all over Lake Forest, and there wasn't any Schuster living there. And then I just thought, Ada. I want to see Ada. And I was right alongside her. Ada didn't have any mink coat. She didn't have any automobile. She was living in a flat on Taylor Street, and there wasn't any heat in the house. There wasn't anything to eat either. She was laying on a cot, and I hardly even recognized her. Her pompadour was all stringy and kind of dirty gray, and her eyes, she had a black eye. She was sick. She was hungry. She was lonesome. She was pretty close to dying. How do you like that? My Ada. And Schuster, the wheel, horses, sweepstakes, the stock market, $1 million. I kissed Ada. And Ada knew I was there. Ada spoke my name. She laid back on the cot and she cried some more. I couldn't take that. Gee, when I come away. Schuster was in Rolo's. Did I tell you, Rolo had some very tough customers around? Yeah, he did. I went up to Schuster and I said, Schuster, I said, Rolo wants to see you in his office.
I'm busy, guys.
Better go on in, Schuster. There's something for you in there.
Is there? No?
Go see. So Schuster went on in and I after him.
Hey, Rolo, what do you want? Rolo!
He's dead, Schuster.
Put him out of here!
No.
Listen, guys.
Look at that knife in his back, Schuster.
That's my knife.
Got your name on it.
I didn't do it.
I know you didn't. But they'll think you did.
Who will think so?
Out the big guy, Sam Harwell, the guy with the brass nuts, Ralph, the guy that bites
I
people.
didn't do it, guys.
No, I done it, Schuster.
You?
Sure. Remember, I told you I was allowed to knock off one guy. One bad guy. Rolo was an awful bad guy, Schuster. So are you, for that matter. Them guys liked Rolo an awful lot, Schuster. What they'll do to a guy they think killed him. The door's locked from the outside, Schuster. The door's locked. The tough boys are coming. Can you pray, Schuster? Not to me, Schuster. So long, lad. And I walked out just as the tough guys, the bodyguard of the dead man, started hammering on the door. I could still hear Schuster crying and moaning in there. And you know what? Out there in the big room, there was a set of stairs I never seen before. I started up the stair steps, and there wasn't anybody to stop me. And I climbed up and up and up, and the stairway went right on up ahead of me. And there was somebody at the top. Black pompadour, shining eyes. What? I'm not such a bad ghost after all, am I? The title of today's Quiet Please story is Good Ghost. It was written and directed by Willis Cooper. The man who spoke to you was Ernest Chappell. And Murray Forbes was Schuster, Ada was Ruth Lass, and Rolo was played by Arthur Cole. As usual, music for Quiet Please is by Albert Berman. Now, for a word about next week, here is our writer-director, my good friend Willis Cooper. Thank you for listening to Quiet Please. The next week I have a story for you. It's called Calling All Souls. And so until next week at the same time, I am quietly yours, Ernest Chappell.
What did I tell you? The end was like a bullwhip snapping at the real truth that you will pay for your crimes. Our ghost was given the power he needed to complete his work on Earth, and that was to make his murder sheet balanced. Quiet Please was a radio fantasy and horror program created by Willis Cooper in 1938. He is also known for creating Lights Out. The show has been praised as one of the finest efforts of the golden age of radio. It created works of astonishing originality and were exceptionally well written, bristling with rich imagination. A bit of a mouthful, but who am I to argue? And now this.
As read by amazing stories, read by amazing people.
This time on As Read By, we have a short story written by Ambrose Bierce. During his lifetime, Bierce was better known as a journalist than as a fiction writer. His most popular stories were written in rapid succession between 1888 and 91. Bierce helped pioneer the psychological horror story. His amazing fables were quite rare in the late 19th century, but as we all know now, they are quite popular in the 21st century. The story is simply called Staley Fleming's Hallucination and is read by Kim. Thank you, Kim.
Staley Fleming's Hallucination by Ambrose Bierce. Of two men who were talking, one was a physician. "I sent for you, doctor," said the other, "but I don't think you can do me any good. Maybe you can recommend a specialist in psychopathy. I fancy I'm a bit loony." "You look all right," the physician said. "You shall judge. I have hallucinations. I wake up every night and see in my room, intently watching me, a big black Newfoundland dog with a white forefoot." "You say you wake. Are you sure about that? Hallucinations are sometimes only dreams." "Oh, I wake all right. Sometimes I lie still a long time, looking at the dog as earnestly as the dog looks at me. I always leave the light going. When I can't endure it any longer, I sit up in bed, and nothing is there." What is the beast's expression?" "It seems to me sinister. Of course I know that, except in art, an animal's face in repose has always the same expression. But this is not a real animal. Newfoundland dogs are pretty mild-looking, you know. What's the matter with this one?" "Really, my diagnosis would have no value. I am not going to treat the dog." The physician laughed at his own pleasantry, but narrowly watched his patient from the corner of his eye. Presently he said, "Fleming, your description of the beast fits the dog of the late Atwell Barton." Fleming half rose from his chair, sat again, and made a visible attempt at indifference. "I remember Barton," he said. "I believe he was... It was reported that... Wasn't there something suspicious in his death?" Looking squarely now into the eyes of his patient, the physician said, 3 years ago the body of your old enemy, Atwell Barton, was found in the woods near his house and yours. He had been stabbed to death. There have been no arrests. There was no clue. Some of us had theories. I had one. Have you?" "I? Why, bless your soul, what could I know about it?" "You remember that I left for Europe almost immediately afterward, a considerable time afterward. In the few weeks since my return you could not expect me to construct a theory. In fact, I have not given the matter a thought. What about his dog?" "It was the first to find the body. It died of starvation on his grave." We do not know the inexorable law underlying coincidences. Staley Fleming did not, or he would perhaps not have sprung to his feet as the night wind brought in through the open window the long, wailing howl of a distant dog. He strode several times across the room in the steadfast gaze of the physician. Then, abruptly confronting him, almost shouted, "What has all this to do with my trouble, Dr. Halderman? You forget why you were sent for." Rising, the physician laid his hand upon his patient's arm and said gently, "Pardon me. I cannot diagnose your disorder offhand. Tomorrow, perhaps. Please go to bed, leaving your door unlocked. I will pass the night here with your books. Can you call me without rising?" "Yes, there is an electric bell." "Good. If anything disturbs you, push the button without sitting up. Good night." Comfortably installed in an armchair, the man of medicine stared into the glowing coals and thought deeply and long, but apparently to little purpose, for he frequently rose and, opening a door leading to the staircase, listened intently, then resumed his seat. Presently, however, he fell asleep, and when he woke it was past midnight. He stirred the failing fire, lifted a book from the table at his side, and looked at the title. It was Denneker's Meditations. He opened it at random and began to read. "Forasmuch as it is ordained of God that all flesh bath spirit, and thereby taketh on spiritual powers, so also the spirit bath powers of the flesh, even when it is gone out of the flesh, and liveth as a thing apart, as many a violence performed by wraith and lemur sheweth. And there be who say that man is not single in this, but the beasts have the like evil inducement, and—" The reading was interrupted by a shaking of the house, as by the fall of a heavy object. The reader flung down the book, rushed from the room, and mounted the stairs to Fleming's bedchamber. He tried the door, but contrary to his instructions, it was locked. He set his shoulder against it with such force that it gave way. On the floor near the disordered bed, in his nightclothes, lay Fleming, gasping away his life. The physician raised the dying man's head from the floor and observed a wound in the throat. "I should have thought of this," he said, believing it suicide. When the man was dead, an examination disclosed the unmistakable marks of an animal's fangs deeply sunken into the jugular vein. But there was no animal. End of Staley Fleming's Hallucination by Ambrose Bierce.
Eerie stuff. Bierce's work often highlights the fact that we cannot investigate the universe and the absurdity of death. He wrote realistically of the terrible things he had seen in war, and his war stories have been called the greatest anti-war documents in American literature. He was quite a man, quite the writer, and truly a legend. We have a special treat for you this week on Ron's Amazing Stories. Jim Harold's new book is out, and it's called True Ghost Stories, Jim Harold's Campfire, number 5. I had the honor of being the editor of his latest book and got to work with him closely over the past few months, bringing it to you. Jim has allowed me to read from his new book. This is called The Fire Marshal's Car, and it is quite the ghost story. When I was 6 years old, we moved into the house I grew up. Living in a house was completely new to us because we'd always lived in an apartment, so it took a little bit of adjustment. There was a noise that happened every night that woke me up. It occurred between 1 and 2 in the morning. I would hear a door shut, followed by a beep. It would startle me out of my sleep. Eventually, I figured out that this was our microwave in the kitchen. One night, I got up enough nerve to find out what was going on. I woke up, heard the beep, and he immediately opened my door. Directly across from me was my parents' room, and my mom had opened her door at the same time. She had obviously heard it too. We both saw a boy of about 6 or 7 years old, about my age, standing in the living room. He was shimmering, and we could see all of his features. He had on a white t-shirt and blue jeans. He walked from the living room to the middle bedroom. My mother and I both saw this, and we struggled to comprehend it. We followed him and realized that he had walked directly into a closed door in the bedroom. I looked at my mom and thought, do I want to tell my mom that I just saw this? She'll think I'm crazy. She looked at me, and I could see that she felt the same way. She didn't want to admit to what she saw either. Fast forward a couple years to Christmas morning. I'm the oldest of 5 boys, so we always had plenty of toys. This particular year, we got a firefighter playset, and it came with a Crown Victoria fire marshal's car. If you pressed the engine down, it would light up and go wee-oo, 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 while making a little bell noise. That night, my entire family gathered together to celebrate, and we were eating dinner. There were about 25 of us. The fire marshal's car was sitting in the middle of the living room on the coffee table, and it began to activate itself. The lights went on and the sound played, and it would do this at random intervals. At first, we assumed it was a short in the wiring or something. My grandmother, who was a spiritual person, began to question if this was a short or something else. She began to ask it to turn on and off on command. She said, "If you're a spirit, please turn the lights on." It would do it every single time. When she would ask it to stop, it would. We have 25 witnesses who were there and can attest to this. My entire family still talks about it to this day. We had that toy car for several years, and it became a sacred object. We would not mess with it. We never changed the batteries or try to fix it in any way. The entire time we had the car, it would sound off up to 10 times daily without anyone touching it. At Christmas time, Thanksgiving, and family gatherings, the activity increased. When we asked it to go on, it would. And when we'd ask it to stop, well, it did that too. What came next would answer many of our questions about the strangeness in the house. My brothers became friends with the old man who lived down the street. He was disabled and asked them to help him pick pecans in his backyard. He would pay them $5. When you're 8 years old, that's like hitting the jackpot. One day, they had a disagreement with the old man about how many buckets they picked. My mother went to him and straightened it out. He came to our house to apologize and pay up. When he got to our driveway, he stopped and said, "I didn't know this was where you lived." My mother said, "What do you mean?" He told her that he knew the family that lived there before us, that he was tied to them, and that he did not want to come onto our property. He said that the 6-year-old boy and his mother who lived there would come to his house and help him clean up after his wife had died. One day they were in the backyard burning a pile of rubbish, and the boy picked up a gas can. He got too close to the fire, it exploded and killed him. When the old man called for help, his neighbor came over and they extinguished the flames. They carried him to the neighbor's car. The neighbor was an honest-to-goodness fire marshal. Tragically, the boy died in that very car, a fire marshal's car. The old man said, "I'll never forget that day. I can remember everything he was wearing, from his white t-shirt to his blue overalls." It was also poignant because it tied everything together so neatly. It's so far beyond coincidence that it had to be something spiritual, something paranormal. That poor boy was communicating with us the whole time. Chris, from Alabama. Not only did I get to edit his book, but Jim allowed me to write my own tale for it. You will find my story in Part 2, Black-Eyed Kids and Shadow People. It is Story 28, The Man in the Fedora. I know I'm pretty biased, but I think this is a wonderful collection of ghost stories, and I'm sure that you will enjoy them. You can find the book, True Ghost Stories, Jim Harold's Campfire No. 5, at Amazon. It's available in many formats, including the Kindle. At the time of this recording, Jim has the book listed for the Kindle at only 99 cents. So hurry up and get your copy today. hope that you enjoyed this first new podcast of the month of Spooky 2016. Remember that next week we will have 2 more podcasts for you, starting with a replay of the Horror Express, followed on Thursday with a brand new episode of the Horror Express, where our topic will be The Curse. You won't want to miss it. If you want to keep up with what's happening on Ron's Amazing Stories, please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or sign up for the weekly newsletter. All the links you're going to need and access to the blog can be found at ronsamazingstories.com. Thank you for listening, and I hope you come again to find out what are Ron's Amazing Stories.
All of the vintage audio used in the podcast is believed to be in the public domain. Ron's Amazing Stories does not own the rights to any of the old-time radio used here. If you hold the rights to any of the shows played, please contact us immediately at ronsamazingstories.com.